Hey, hey, everybody. How do I sound? It's just getting everything together. Sometimes these things can be so complicated. You just have to go step by step, make sure you got it. I can see the chat. So if anybody has any questions as we're going, I will take a look. Okay. So this is going to be so good. This is Venus at the Silver Gate. So if you don't know what that is, we're going to talk about it. We're going to dive into it. I have maybe not a short presentation, but maybe about 8 or 9 slides, pictures, and we're just going to talk about some concepts as I get through them. And then we are going to look at the astrology. The date that this is happening is June 16th. This is when Venus moves into the constellation of Gemini with Mercury and the Sun not too far behind. So we're going to get into all of this. Hello, Jenna Green. Thank you. I can see you. You can hear me. We are having a moment. I love these lives. The energy is so different than when I actually like record it back here in my little office and then send it up. So this is just cool. And I thank you all so much for coming and giving us a listen here. Yeah. So for me personally, let me just catch y'all up on what's been going on with me before we get into it. Let a few people kind of get in. So all of this beautiful Taurus energy, right? The sun, Mercury, Venus, Jupiter, all this beautiful Taurus energy has been happening in my 12th house. And right after the eclipse, I had a profound switcheroo in my life. I switched jobs. The schedule's completely different. My flow of time is completely different. I don't even know what day of the week it is sometimes. It's actually pretty cool. So I do these 24-hour shifts once or twice a week, and the rest of the time I have to, think about the work I want to do. And so I've been doing that. I've been just kind of sitting with myself and researching, and a lot of stuff's getting ready to come out because now that everything is past the Pleiades, we are in my first house. So there is an emergence energy. Things are going to be, I don't even know how to give it to all of you. Like, I don't want to overwhelm you with all the things that I want to do, but it's coming. Um, so what we're going to do, let's see, I don't even know how you tell how many people are here, but at any rate, Venus through the Silver Gate. So I'm getting ready to emerge. We're going to have a couple of classes over the summer, bigger classes, longer classes that are much more detailed, much more practical. Um, uh, with all this abundance energy, I've been just sort of like, how can astrology help us with abundance? And I fell into this whole using it for financial trading and using it to find out where your purpose and your prosperity was in your chart. So I've done about a dozen of these purpose and prosperity readings. So I hope you guys can take advantage of that. There's a link for that in this description right now. But these are by far my favorite readings so far, more than the natal chart, maybe even a little bit more than the Venus readings. So if y'all want to get in on that's there. I also did a free Jupiter class not too long ago. That's still available on learn.drdaney.com. So if you want to learn about Jupiter for free and kind of see how I teach and how we teach with our live courses, you can check that out. If you don't know anything about astrology, guys, I have a basic course that is free. I think it's like maybe 90 minutes. We go through all the archetypes, sun, moon to Pluto, all the constellations, aspects. No, we don't touch on aspects, but that course is there if you want to kind of brush up on constellational astrology. I go over the constellation of Ophiuchus as well. So that's what's happening. Celtic Thistle Physics. Hi, all. Hello, hello. Thank you for coming. It's Bliss Wellness and Yoga. Hello from Washington State. Oh, wow. We have Northwest Texas, Washington State. This is so cool. This is so cool. All right, let's see what else is going on. Yeah, I had some friends visit last week, friends from Florida. They're really, really sweet. I've known them for about 10 years now. We had a good time. I ate way too much, but that's what I do when we get together. And then in August, my family's coming to visit us here. I'm having kind of a big solar return. I'll be the big 5-0. So family's coming to visit for that special day. Yeah, so that's what's going on. Cool, cool. Let me just go ahead and get started. We're about 5 minutes in. Everybody can catch up on the replay, I guess. So I'll share my screen. And here it is. So here's what we want to talk about: the Silver Gate and the Golden Gate. Now, these are big deals. If you go, I think the best place that describes it that I've seen is a place called the Ascension Glossary, and there's really not like a big paper written about it or a big book that I'm aware of. It's essentially like a portal. When you think of the lunar nodes on a birth chart, for example, that is where the moon and the sun, that is where the moon crosses the Earth's ecliptic. So the moon is about 5 degrees off of the Earth's, horizontal plane. So when it goes down, you're crossing the south node. When it comes back up, you're crossing the north node. And it's not a planet or anything. It's just a point in space where two ecliptics cross one another. And that's what we're looking at with the Silver Gate and the Golden Gate. So on one side, in the galactic center where Ophiuchus and Scorpio are, you have the Golden Gate. And then on the side where you have Orion, Taurus, and Gemini, you have the Silver Gate. These are also referred to as the gateway of men and the gateway of souls, meaning that we basically come from the outside of this galaxy through this silvery gate portal, become materialized, crystallized into human form in the silver gate, get kind of stretched out and stretched through this zodiac wheel, this prison planet, so to speak. I don't know, a lesson sphere. And then we ascend out through the Golden Gate to the galactic center, back to source. And so that's what this is reminding us of. It could be an energy of new souls coming in, new energy coming in, and I feel like there is new energy coming in, because right beyond the horizon, right after Venus passes this point on the ecliptic, we're going to have our summer solstice. This is happening on the 20th of June. This is when the sun passes this point. Okay. So our solstice points, the one for winter, the one for summer, depending on which hemisphere you're in, southern or northern hemisphere, is this point in space as well, where it's like the galactic node, right? Does that make sense to you guys? Ash says I look fantastic. Oh, thank you. I appreciate that. I'm getting a lot of sun right now. On my days off, I spend a couple of hours in the afternoon outside in nature. It's part of my spiritual practice. I call it blissing out. So, I tell my husband, I say, I'm going to go bliss out now. And for about anywhere from 2 to 3 hours, I will go and do that. And it actually makes me a very effective person. So make sure you spend time in nature, guys. But yeah, so this is the sort of cosmic nodes that we're dealing with, almost an eclipse type of energy. I just think it's fantastic. And to have Venus over that, it basically just reminds us of our creative energy, our inner divine spark. And it's being pulled through a manifestation portal with all this crazy, amazing abundance energy. It's just a fantastic thing to complement itself. So let's look at this. This is called theskylive.com, 3D solar system. And I think perspective really matters here when we're looking at the Silver Gate and the Golden Gate. And so I wanted to bring out a model to you that I could just sort of move around and play with. I've moved the date to the 16th of June, and you can zoom in and out on this. This is pretty cool. So from Earth's perspective, this is what the 16th looks like. So we have Sun, Venus, and Mercury right here, because Sun and Venus just had their conjunction. So she's moving into the evening star phase of her greater 20-month cycle. So she'll be an evening star for 10 months. In about a month, if you look to the western sky after sunset, you will be able to see the goddess. It's really quite amazing because she disappears for about 60 days. And so it's very hard to function creatively when Venus is behind the sun like this. And when she emerges, it'll be really quite amazing. So here's our perspective. And the thing I wanted to show you is you can kind of see that fuzzy band back there behind all of this. Actually, you can even see the Pleiades right here. Do you see that? There's this band here. This is the outward arms of our Milky Way galaxy. Okay. So from Earth's perspective, all these luminaries are in the silver gate energy. But what I also wanted to show you, because this is fun, you can turn this around and you can get the sun's perspective of Earth. This is heliocentric. So let's pretend you're standing on the sun right now. And you've got Earth at the Golden Gate, at the galactic center. I think you can even make out Sagittarius a little bit right here, and then Scorpio and Ophiuchus. So Earth is at the Golden Gate, heliocentrically. So our sun, from our perspective on Earth, we're going through a solstice point, and from our sun's perspective, Earth is on one end and Venus is on the other. I mean, how does that feel to you all? I mean, to me, this just feels so much bigger than I don't know. It's important, okay? And it how will it be important? Not sure. I mean, maybe it'll be a shift. Maybe it will bring things into manifestation that we've been waiting for. Maybe it will bring in new energy to our galaxy, to our Earth, to our solar system, to our sun. So I just wanted to show you that. Let's see. Yep, lots of solar flares, proton storms. It's for real. My poor husband, every time there's an X flare, will get one of those migraines with auras. Look at that funny scotoma and not be able to see. I just get really tired. All right, here's another view of it, more of a still view where you can see the silver gate. Here's the crisscross. So here's that Milky Way energy. That's the galactic equator. And here is the zodiacal ecliptic, or the solar system ecliptic, the band through which the sun and the moon and everything moves through. Okay, so there's our node. It's the node that we're at. That's the node Venus is at. That's where the node of the sun will be in just a few days. So let's look at it from Earth's view, but standing on the Earth. This is Stellarium Web. I love this program too. And what you can see here is, isn't this way more fun than tropical? Yeah, I need a positive shift too, Ash. I mean, that April eclipse I was very much anticipating, but I feel like it knocked the wind out of everything. I feel like I had a really good momentum, and then all of a sudden, boom, smack back down, fresh new beginning. Oh, your North Node's there, Nikki? Oh my gosh. Totally. That's great. That means this is all destiny type energy for you. It's, your soul's purpose to be part of the Silver Gate energy. So here we are on the 16th. There's the sun, there's the Pleiades, there's Venus and Mercury right there. But I like to zoom out on this a little bit and just kind of flip it around. And you can see that galactic band right here. In ancient cultures, the constellations along this band were also actually really, really important. And some of the people that I hang out with online, other constellational astrologers will talk about these constellations. It's fascinating. I kind of want to stick to the basics, the zodiac ecliptic that we're in, because you can see that here: Leo, Cancer, Gemini, Taurus, Aries, and Pisces. So yeah, there it is. There's that. Let's see if there's anything else. I think I had. Oh, yes. I wanted to make this point too. I did refer earlier to these two gates as the gateway of men and the gateway of souls. There is also this concept in astrology as well, in the chart, that places it in Cancer and Capricorn. So Capricorn is the gateway of souls and Cancer is the gateway of men, if I'm not mistaken. Correct me if y'all think I'm wrong, but that's where it's identified, but it's identified in a tropical chart in or on the constellation of Cancer. And so what I thought might be helpful was to put the charts together so you could see where they differ. On the outside, this is constellational or astronomical alignments. On the inside is the current tropical, Western tropical modern astrology constellation, or signs, I should say. So signs are on the inside, constellations are on the outside. The middle ring is a hybrid of the two that is often called sidereal astrology. Sometimes the outer ring is referred to as true sky sidereal astrology. I usually hesitate using the word true only because my true and your true can be different from the true. And, so I think constellational is a nice name for the science and the art of interpreting the constellational energy as they are astronomically. Any rate, the middle wheel is tropical. So the galactic equator is here on this line. You can see it. And if you look at tropical, you see how it's all the way over here in at the cusp of Gemini and Cancer, where our galactic, when we use the sky, it's between Taurus and Gemini. So we're almost a whole sign off here. So I think, sometimes tropical really actually does get it right, that it's just the name for it. It's almost like they renamed it just a little bit so it would sound just right. When you look at the sort of the Renaissance books, a lot of them just use whole sign equal houses, and that's basically using a house system. So what I do, and what a lot of the other constellational astrologers do, is put a 12 house equal sign equal house system, 12 equal houses on the 13 constellations, and it works pretty well. So this is the difference between it. You can kind of see it from an astrological perspective. Here's another one. So yeah, the tropicals in the middle, and then the constellationals out here. Okay, yeah, almost a whole sign off. And so that's usually when I start posting memes, when we're a whole sign off, just to keep people in the loop about where stuff actually is in the sky. All right. The other thing is, it a lot of times I get people online that don't like the kind of astrology that I do. So I get scientists that think I'm crazy, and I get religious people that bless their hearts, are just trying to save my soul. When in actuality, there are verses in the Bible that talk about, what we do and how we do it and why they're important. And, this is from the Gospel of Judas, and it says, "You will become the 13th, and you will be cursed by other generations, and you will come to rule over them. In the last days, they will curse your ascent to the holy generation." Basically, what he's speaking about in this is our ascension process, okay, from that gateway of men to the gateway of souls. And it is the shadow of the valley of death that we walk through till we get to that point. And I really think that astrology is like literally, it's not a religion, but it is a nice guidepost. It is a nice set of instructions on how to live a soul guided life, whatever that means to you, right? So if you are someone that follows this kind of religion, you can still use astrology. If you're Catholic, you can still use astrology. If you're Jewish, they use it. And they actually probably use this kind of astrology. So I just wanted to kind of point that out, that the 7 stars that Christ held were the Pleiades. I mean, this was something that was important to ancient people. So, what do you say we get into some astrology after I talk to you guys about 2 really cool things? Then we'll do the astrology, and then if you guys want to ask me any questions, you're welcome to it. First announcement, Neptune live on Monday, the 24th. So June 24 at 6:30 p.m. Central, 7:30 Eastern. Maria Schumacher, a Wiccan priestess, professional constellation or astrologer, a Neptunian soul, and one of my dear friends and colleagues will be co-teaching the Neptune course with me. If you thought I was fun, wait till you get her and me teaching you about Neptune. It is going to be incredible. There is also a Neptune meditation that is already in the course module. So for those of you that are used to what we do, you basically sign up for the course the night we go live. You go to your module, you click on the antenna, and you'll be in the live class. We'll all be together, and we'll be recording the class. Once the class is recorded, then I take that recording and I place it in that course module. So if you miss the live, you'll go back and you'll watch your class. The lives are really fun though, because we break it up and you guys are allowed to come in and ask questions. And it's really however long it takes for us to get through it. Sometimes we'll do little grounding exercises because the energy can be so intense when you're talking about one thing through the entire zodiac. Like we did a Pluto class, and whew, I mean, that was some deep and heavy energy. And we had to take it through. We talked about Ophiuchus. And in the middle of that one, we lost our connection right when we were talking about Uranus. So, I mean, the live classes are actually a really, really cool experience. So I encourage you all to join us. I mean, that group energy for learning and teaching is just fantastic. And I learn from your questions too. So I will leave, I think there's already a link in the description for that Neptune class. I really hope y'all join us in 13 days. Okay. Then finally, this is the big one. You guys may have seen the meme on the Facebook group or in the community page about summer school. Oh, this is so exciting. So from 7/7 to 9/9, we are going to be doing 2 sessions of a longer course. This course is so long that there's really no way for me to put it into a 2-hour live format and do that on a recurring basis. What that does is that makes people bored or they get really lost and confused. And so I am pre-recording the modules for this first class this weekend. This is the Business and Financial Astrology course. I've been doing research on this course for about 2 to 3 months, steadily just kind of creating slides as something inspires me and organizing them. And it is fantastic. I'm going to teach you how to use the planets and their cycles to monitor and watch and potentially forecast what trades they're doing, what stocks are doing, what your business is going to do. We're going to learn how to read a business chart. Then I'm going to take you through a personal wealth and prosperity reading, how you do that with one example. And it's probably going to be most of the course. So probably an hour and a half to 2 hours on the general stuff, and then probably another 2 to 3 hours just on that chart, on how to do a prosperity and purpose reading. So you guys are going to learn how to do that. If any of you have gotten that reading from me, you've probably seen some of the slides because I show you what we're going to go through. So those are my 2 big announcements. I have links in the description. Please check that stuff out. I'm super excited both about the reading. I'm excited about this course. Actually, I don't have a link for the course yet. Sorry about that. I'm probably going to do that at the solstice. When summer actually starts, I will start my call outs for summer school. And then the second session is going to be taught by our own dear Don Bird, who posts the dailies in the Fellowship of 13 Signs. He is going to be teaching us about the lunar nodes and evolutionary astrology, and is going to be with us on learn.drdaney.com. He also has big plans for you with this course. He wants to record a whole bunch of modules for you, probably 3 to 4 hours of data. This is what he does. He was trained by the guy in the school of the guy who does evolutionary astrology. So he is an expert, and he is going to be doing that. And he is an excellent teacher. If you've ever listened to him talk, you should watch his videos. He's really, really good. So I'm excited about all of this stuff, and I just want you guys to be part of it. So, all right, let's do this. Let's look back at this chart and see what kind of trouble we can get into. This is the day that Venus enters into Gemini. I'm going to do a longer Venus forecast video. In fact, I did it earlier today, and it's going live on Friday. So I've been recording all day, you guys. Been doing readings and getting YouTube ready to go. All right, Seeking Truth says, in tropical, my Neptune is 0 degrees Scorpio. Oh, you know what I'm going to do for you, Seeking Truth? I'm going to show you a cool little deal that I have. It'll take me a second to find it. Hold on. I'm going to stop sharing while I do that so you don't see all my stuff. Not that you guys would do anything with my stuff, but all right, let's see. I need to go to Excel. Apologies for this, but you will love this. You will love this. Our friend Julie Sherwood created this, and it's over on Radical Astrology. Let me share my screen again so y'all can see it. Okay, here we go. All right, share screen. Here it is. So you said tropical Neptune is 0 degrees Scorpio. So we're going to go down to the tropical thing here. We're going to find Scorpio, 0 degrees. So I guess that would be here. So it would be Virgo, 38 degrees or 37 degrees. So that's where your Neptune is. Yeah, Maria is gonna. We're gonna give you the true constellational generational time frames for Neptune. It's a slow mover, so we're gonna give you the actual dates because when you read about Neptune in tropical books, they're gonna give you all the wrong sets of dates. They're off by decades. It's amazing. Cool. All right, Bliss Wellness and Yoga is joining the class. Oh, you like Virgo better? Seeking truth? Yeah. I like Virgo a lot. I mean, I used to not like Virgo when I studied tropical, but then when I realized, when I put my perspective into the cosmic, Virgo is really, really quite important. So yeah, if you're not on Radical Astrology, go join that group. Ask Julie Sherwood for this spreadsheet, and you can convert even if you don't have the software. She's a mercurial individual, and not Mercury in a bad way. I mean Mercury like she will make charts. She will put things on graphs. She will organize, collate. She's amazing. Okay, Venus at the Silver Gate. All right, so we have the planet of love and beauty and values, the divine light of creation, beginning this brand new cycle. Because hopefully, if y'all are following me, you know that on June 4th, we switched from morning star to evening star with that superior conjunction of the sun with Venus. So this is a baby evening star. Fresh, brand new. We'll be able to see her in the sky in just a few weeks. This is a 584-day synodic cycle. That means that she returns to the same conjunction every 584 days or 20 months. A Virgo ascendant now, yes. Well, okay, then you need to listen to one of my Virgo tangents because that actually might make you your chart ruler Venus. But if you associate more with Mercury, that's cool too. Then we also have the planet of our minds, Mercury, conjunct the sun, right? Now, Mercury's synodic cycle is every 116 days. So when these two align, it's pretty rare. It might not always coincide like it does right now. Sometimes one's a little bit off. They're always around the sun, but right now they're close. Right now they're both starting a brand new cycle. And how do these two planets attain enlightenment, right? So we have Venus, who attains enlightenment through the senses. She feels her way. She gains her wisdom by experiencing everything through the bodies, the different bodies, the physical body, the spiritual body, and the emotional body. She feels all of it. Mercury attains enlightenment by the exchange of knowledge. This is information. This is mental activity. This is not emotional. I always use like an apple as an example. You take the apple, and Mercury knows its name, knows everything about its molecular structure from the stem to the seed, knows what orchard it came from, knows how much it weighs, knows how much it costs. He knows all that's all Mercury information about this apple. That's the wisdom Mercury gains from an apple. Venus attains wisdom from the apple by tasting it, by smelling it, by observing the colors, by smelling the aroma, by just feeling the weight of the apple in her hand. Okay. And so now you have these two together, and it's like the right and the left side of your brain, the two hemispheres, the artistic side and the logical side, just sitting there together, giving you clear, rational, inspired thought. So I love this energy, and it's in the Silver Gate right now. So there's always a great sense of turning the corner or a great change. So we've had a really nice time here with all these energies. You guys really want to watch the Venus forecast because with all wonderful things, this too shall pass. Even the good stuff passes. We have a few squares for Venus as she goes through Gemini. So what do you guys think about all that? I mean, let me know. We'll get into some of these aspects here. I'm just going to aspect Venus. We may want to talk about that Pluto-Mars square, although I haven't really felt the impact so much. And I think it's because Pluto is retrograde. And so there's not so much chaos outside. It might be a little bit more internal. Anybody? All right. Bliss and yoga, wellness, bliss and yoga is always learning. Cool. Okay, so this is in your 10th house, Donna. All right. All right. So this is career. This is your job. This is your life's work. This energy up here. This could be a big change for you. Um, I know when Jupiter moved through my ascendant, that's when I switched jobs. And 12 years ago, the same exact thing happened. I shit you not. It is amazing. Astrology is incredible. So, and you'd be surprised how many people are into it. Like how many really like smart people have their stuff together. They're into it and they kind of know when Mercury's coming and all of that. It's amazing. All right. So let's see. Venus and Mercury are trining onto the moon that day. This is going to be a quick transit, but the moon, if you'll notice, is at the south node, the lunar node. This is where the lunar eclipse happened last year. So this is an eclipse point. Anytime the moon goes through its previous eclipse points, it's a ripple from the previous eclipse. So there might be some themes that follow through, sort of in cyclic patterns that tend to attenuate or get less and less intense as the months roll on. You can also use eclipse points in the future and track them backwards and get a sense for what's coming for you as well. Okay, so when the moon hits that south node, she will trine onto Venus at the Silver Gate. This feels like loving the job well done in Virgo, doesn't it? You know, I don't know, the emotional energy of the moon and the Virgo energy of just, really doing a good job for someone. It's like this wonderful like service energy. Um, on the southern node, it could be energy draining too. But anytime the moon is in the sky like this, it's focusing on that node and it's saying, all right, remember where we came from. Remember your portals. Okay. So this is a lunar earth portal right here that the moon is at. And then Venus and Mercury and the sun are going to be at this galactic cosmic portal and they're trying to one another. So that's a nice flow of energy. All right, so let's see. Venus is also going to sextile onto Chiron, the wounded healer teacher. Chiron in Pisces is the deep subconscious wounds of the collective, which I don't know, feels like disconnection to spirit. Like you see all the horrible things going on in the world, and you're like, there can't possibly be a God, or there can't possibly be a reason for all of this. That's kind of those chironic wounds in Pisces because Pisces just wants to love and just wants to merge and just wants to be part of the oneness in the universe. And, to have a wound right there can be pretty tough. So anytime Venus and Chiron sextile, this is an opportunity, right? To remember our subconscious and to finally integrate and take a higher perspective, maybe even to have a little compassion for ourselves, right? I mean, God, I think we could all use a little bit of that, just self-compassion. Like, look yourself in the mirror and go, you're doing okay. It's really not that bad. Um, all right, let's see. Venus squares onto Neptune as well. Oh, look, there's another reminder to come to the Neptune class so you can understand how Venus squaring on Neptune might manifest. This is going to be a modern perspective too, a fresh modern look at Neptune and how you work with it. So this is the first of many squares that are coming up for Venus in the next month. So definitely watch that transits video when it comes out on Friday morning. I'm going to go through them a little bit more in depth. But basically the whole idea is plus both Neptune and Saturn are going to go retrograde halfway through Venus's transit through Gemini. So the way that I explained it is that this square energy, she'll also square Neptune too, because they're so close to each other. So first you hit Saturn over here, and then you'll hit Neptune. So now she's in that square to Saturn, then he'll go retrograde. And then right after that, Neptune will go retrograde, and then she will square onto Neptune. So when you have a direct square, it feels like there's a contraction, something holding you back, like something pressing down on you almost, guardrails, training wheels. And then when that aspect eases, you feel like you are a little bit released. And when Saturn goes retrograde, I think the nature of the square is going to change. We're going to feel really constricted, and then we're going to be released. And then I think the same thing will happen with Neptune energy, where there's usually confusion, delusion, no discernment, I think that might switch. I think the veil will lift and we'll actually see a lot more clearly. So a little bit of a deep breath, a little bit of a clearer vision here. Even though it's a square, this is how this energy sort of moves through the initial space and what's on the other side of it. All right, let's see what else. Anybody else want to ask any questions? Say hi, tell me where you're watching from. I love this live energy. It's so cool. Okay, let's see. Okay, the last one is going to be Pluto quincunxing with Venus. I'll put that on there, but it's not aspecting on this chart, which is interesting, even though they're close enough to do it. I'm just going to tell you about it anyway, since we're here. And it's an in conjunct. Ireland, Donna. Wow. That's cool. Southwest England. So what time is it over there? Is it late for y'all? Is it like midnight? Florida. Cool. I love Florida. Florida has some really beautiful beaches in Pensacola. 1:07 a.m. Wow. Well, either you're a night owl or you're staying up just for me. Either way, I appreciate you. Thank you so much. Right? It is a different way to look at charts, the Venus energy. Her cycle's really important. I mean, I don't know if you guys have seen my little presentation on Venus. I did it in the oh, did you guys all catch that conversation I had with Dawn Blossom with Lotus? That video was really good. We had a really good energy. She is amazing. I'm probably going to talk to her again. But we go into it big time. And I do present to you why Venus is so fantastic, why there's this underlying, you know, there's this underlying geometry with Venus and Earth and the sun. And it's a connection that is, you can feel it out, you can see it, but sometimes it's really hard to just explain it. Oh yeah, you'll have to find it. It's linked in the description of all my videos. So you just click on that link, ask to join, and I'll get the notification probably minutes after you do that, and then I'll let you in. Yeah, and I try to post there every day, but Don Bird, the guy who's going to be teaching the evolutionary astrology class, he does a daily in there, and he'll teach you about aspects. I love his format. He asks you questions like, so what are you thinking about on this, and what are you thinking about on this, and then he'll give you the positive and the shadow, and then like, here's what you do about it. So he's pretty cool. All right, so quincunx. This is an in conjunct 150 degrees. This is an unrecognized inner potential, or a subtle difficulty that's hard to recognize. So not really a big deal. It's considered a minor aspect, but in actually medical astrology is big. The quincunx is really big. And any aspect you have between Venus and Pluto are important. So this is showing us a powerful, unrecognized inner potential to bring the energy together of Gemini and Capricorn. Okay, those two you wouldn't normally feel like they're together on. Like Sag Gemini is always together because they're air and fire. They're about knowledge. One's about a higher octave of knowledge. One's about local learning. That's that Sag Gemini axis there. But to have something in Capricorn aspecting something in Gemini, and they're both very early. I can tell you last year that when these two were in opposition to each other, in other words, when Venus was over here, which we'll probably get to in later in the Gemini transit, was a purging. Now, this last year, the Pluto was also square to the nodes, but there was a purging energy, like things that were no longer serving us were literally being like purged. I even got like physically sick and went on an involuntary 3-day fast when that happened. It was amazing. So how do you bring that together? This is like responsible learning or reliable communicating. So So what is it that's about to change? What's the transfer of energy there? So, so a lot of really interesting energy walking into the Silver Gate. My next video is going to be the full moon solstice video, I think, or the one on Friday, which will be the Venus transits, and then the full moon solstice video. I might do a lot. Actually, what I'm going to do next week, you guys, is I'm going to do another live on Wednesday, and we're going to talk about the solstice, and then um, the next day I'm going to have just a video come out about the full moon, and I might do shorts around it through the houses. So, all right, so stay tuned for announcements on summer school. This is going to be big. It's more intense. So really committed learners. Also, you probably, at least for the business and financial course, you want to have some sort of ground level understanding of the archetypes before you jump into this course. The techniques are not hard, but you need to know when I say, Sun in Leo, what that means, or second house, what that means. There will be resource documents with that particular course as well to help you guys along too. But yeah, all right. Celtic thistles, so excited for the solstice. Oh yeah. Ophiuchus. Well, so from a heliocentric perspective, the Earth will be in Ophiuchus on the solstice from the sun's perspective. So we are in Ophiuchus right now, solar system wise. Make sure you guys join us for the Neptune class. Join the Fellowship of 13 Signs. If you love my content, please give me a thumbs up before we close out, and share this video with anyone who you think might need the information. And I am so happy that you guys came and hung out with me. I'm going to try to do more lives. I really love the live energy. It's where I feel most inspired. It's where, kind of the downloads come in as I'm talking. So I really appreciate you all for coming, and watch the video on Friday, and I'll see you all next week. Namaste.